Have you ever noticed that the more you try to stop worrying, the more anxious you become? This video will show you not only the intrinsic relationship between worry and anxiety, but also how you can effectively control your worries and master generalized anxiety disorder, or GAD. I'll share a strategy I learned from a psychiatrist that helped me manage GAD, ready to transform the way you think and act in the face of worries. Let's go, because by the end of this video, you'll have a powerful tool in your hands. Why is it hard to stop worrying? Worry is a natural response of our brain to uncertainties, acting as a defense mechanism that anticipates potential problems and prepares us to face them. However, when this worry becomes constant and exaggerated, it can trigger generalized anxiety disorder, marked by a persistent state of tension and nervousness, even in the absence of real threats. So why is it so hard to just stop worrying? The answer lies in how our brain is programmed to protect us, often overdoing it and keeping us in a nearly constant state of alert. Have you ever stopped to think why, when you try to stop worrying, it seems like everything gets worse? It seems ironic, doesn't it? Worry is a tool of our brain to prepare us to face future challenges, a natural defense mechanism aimed at anticipating problems and protecting us from potential threats. Imagine you are planning a trip and start worrying about everything that could go wrong. This worry makes you check your documents several times, plan the route carefully, and even prepare a plan B. All this is useful, right? However, when this worry has no limit, it becomes a constant source of anxiety. It's like your brain is always in maximum alert mode, waiting for a danger that rarely materializes. This can be exhausting and, honestly, a bit paralyzing. The problem is that our brain, although incredibly skilled, sometimes does not make a good distinction between a real threat and the simple uncertainties of everyday life. This constant hypervigilance is what makes it so difficult to simply stop worrying. The anxiety cycle. Have you noticed how anxiety seems to trap us in an endless cycle? It all starts with the perception of a danger, which can be something very concrete or just an unfounded suspicion. This perception activates our fight-or-flight response, an evolutionary mechanism designed to protect us from immediate physical threats. However, in our modern life, many of the threats are psychological, like deadlines at work, financial worries, or relationship problems. When your brain interprets these concerns as threats, it triggers the same physical response it would if you were facing a predator in the wild. Your heart beats faster, your breathing speeds up, and your body prepares for action. The problem is that, unlike a physical threat that comes and goes, psychological problems can persist, keeping you in this prolonged state of alert. This anxiety cycle can be extremely exhausting, as you remain stuck in a state of constant vigilance, awaiting dangers that are often more theoretical than real. Breaking this cycle means understanding that not all worries are immediate or even necessary, and learning to put these threats into perspective is essential. 2 reasons why the brain worries. Understanding why our brain insists on worrying can be the key to unlocking a less anxious life. First, our brain uses worry as a form of mental simulation. This means that by worrying, it is, in a way, rehearsing responses to possible future problems. It's as if we are conducting a test before the actual situation, preparing ourselves to face the worst. For example, if you are worried about a job interview, your brain might keep going over possible questions and answers, trying to anticipate everything that could go wrong and how you can overcome these issues. The second reason is that worry acts as an avoidance mechanism. By worrying, you might feel that you're doing something about a situation, even when you are not taking practical actions. This can be comforting at first, like a way to feel that you are maintaining control over something uncertain. However, this strategy can be counterproductive as it keeps you mentally tied to a cycle of anxiety without actually solving the problem in question. Now that we understand these reasons, it's clear that transforming this tendency into something positive requires a change in strategy. This leads us to differentiate between automatic thoughts, which arise without our control and often contribute to increased anxiety, and active worry, which is more conscious and directed. Difference between automatic thoughts and active worry. Let's dive a bit deeper into our minds to understand 2 distinct ways of thinking that often confuse us: automatic thoughts and active worry. Automatic thoughts are those that spontaneously arise in our consciousness, often without us realizing it. They are quick, often irrational, and can be negative or based on unfounded fears. For example, you might be walking to a meeting and suddenly think, "I'm going to forget everything I need to say." This type of thought is not something you choose. It just appears. Active worry, on the other hand, is different. It involves a more conscious and deliberate process. You identify a problem or situation that needs attention and start thinking about it in a structured way. This can include assessing risks, considering different approaches, and planning actions. This type of worry is more productive because it is directed and focused on solutions, unlike automatic thoughts, which tend to be uncontrolled and often paralyzing. Understanding this distinction is crucial because it allows us to see that not all worries are harmful. In fact, active worry can be a useful tool for solving problems and preparing adequately for future challenges. This understanding leads us to the technique of scheduled worry, a practical strategy that we can use to transform our uncontrolled anxieties into an organized and useful thought process. Let's explore how you can implement this technique in your daily life to really put your worries in perspective and perhaps even resolve some of them. A practical way to control worries. Scheduled worry. So, how can we better manage these worries that seem to have a life of their own? Here enters the strategy I mentioned, scheduled worry. This method is simple, yet revolutionary. It consists of deliberately choosing a specific time and place during the day to devote exclusively to your worries. That's right, you will schedule a meeting with your worries. How to implement scheduled worry. To start implementing scheduled worry in your life, follow these simple yet effective steps. First, choose a time and place where you can be calm and undisturbed. It could be a quiet room, a home office, or even a corner of your garden. The important thing is that it's an environment that you associate with tranquility and concentration. Next, set a time limit for this practice. About 15 to 30 minutes a day are sufficient. Use a timer if necessary to not exceed the time dedicated to worries. During this period, allow yourself to think deeply about the things that are causing anxiety. Write everything down. Writing helps organize thoughts and makes worries more tangible and therefore easier to manage. The key here is regularity and discipline. Commit to maintaining this habit every day at the same time so that it becomes a natural part of your routine. By doing this, you'll start to notice that worries no longer dominate your day. You know you'll have a time to deal with them, which can significantly reduce anxiety during other daily activities. For example, let's imagine that you decide that every day from 5 to 5:30 p.m., you will sit in your favorite corner of the living room with a notebook in hand to jot down and reflect on everything that is causing anxiety. During this time, you allow yourself to think about the worries, analyze possible solutions, or simply accept that some things are out of your control and will need more time to be resolved. What happens here is that by confining your worries to this period, you do not allow them to invade the rest of your day. You know you have this time reserved, so you can focus on other activities without the constant interruption of anxiety. This technique not only helps to reduce anxiety during the rest of the day, but also provides you with an opportunity to face these worries in a more structured and less emotional way. Finally, during the scheduled worry session, try to focus on solutions. For each worry, think about concrete steps you can take to solve the problem or improve the situation. If some worries are beyond your control, practice detachment. Recognize that some things are beyond your ability to intervene and try to release them. Implementing scheduled worry can transform the way you handle anxiety. However, it's important to remember that avoiding worries entirely through distractions is not the solution. So, as we adopt new techniques like scheduled worry, it's essential not only to practice regularly, but also to share our experiences with others. This can not only enrich our own journey, but also help someone who may be going through similar difficulties. Therefore, I encourage you to watch this video again whenever you need to remember the steps of the technique or find yourself facing new challenges that provoke anxiety. Did you enjoy learning this strategy? Try it today. I'm sure it will help you just as it helped me. I hope this video has been useful. and that the techniques presented here make a positive difference in your life. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel to not miss future updates, and share this video with friends or family members who could also benefit from this information. Thank you very much for watching, and I wish you much peace and success on your path to controlling anxiety. You are not alone.